I've listened to over 50 IEMs this year, and I've squeezed all that experience into this one guide to help you guys determine which IEM are the best upgrades in their respective genres. I won't be mentioning IEMs over $3,000 because they are just overkill and you do not need them, guys. So with that being said, starting off with pop, K-pop, and J-pop, here we're looking for a balanced signature that has a sub-bass boost, clean mids, well-extended treble, but also not too shouty and peaky. At around $20, we have the Moondrop Chu2 3.5mm version. You can get these on sale for as low as $15, with the overall sound being slightly bassy on the smoother side, balanced, and isn't muddy or kills your ears. Then moving up to the next noticeable and worthwhile upgrade, these would be the SIMGOT EW300 3.5 red nozzles. Now the EA500LM would be also a good option, however it does have some univariance in the treble, so although it is slightly better than the EW300, I can't fully recommend it unless you're okay with flipping Sci-Fi QC. But basically the EW300 takes what the Chu2 does and just upgrades it across the board: better resolution, better bass texture, more treble air, with the additional tuning on top from the pink nozzles. Then at around $150, we have the classics, the Nova, the Chopin, the Super Mix 4, which are all very bang for your buck when it comes to the price to performance ratio. They're all very well balanced, relatively smooth, and great value picks. Then moving up from those, the next noticeable upgrade would be the IO Volaire and the Monarch Mark IIIs. Now some of you guys are probably asking, where's the Dusk? Where's the Dusk? And the Dusk is also a good option if you're not thinking of upgrading after them. But if you are thinking of spending more, more than $500, just skip the Dusk and go for the Volaire, or just save up for the Monarch Mark IIIs. Because both the Volaire and Monarchs are going to be smoother, they're going to be more spacious, more natural because of the ESTs. They're also going to be more detailed as well, with the main difference being that the bass texture on the Monarchs are going to be a step above the Volaire and everything else, while the Volaire gets to 90%ish of the Monarch's detail retrieval. As for my rock and metal heads, we're looking for an IEM with satisfying mid-bass slam and good speed, tamer upper mids for the vocals, and airy treble extension. For a starter set, my go-to would be the Tangent 1 3.5 version. It's smooth and bassy while being decently airy for the price. It's around $20 on sale, and on top of that, the bullet style fit is incredibly comfortable. The next noticeable upgrade after the 1 would be the Shozi P20 or the RDT10 if you're listening at mid volume, and the Full Explorer for high volume blasting. I will skip everything else and just save up for those three. Then at around $300, you can also go for the Zigat Dashinkos if you want a slammy mid bass, or the HBB Arcadias at higher volumes if you want a bassier Explorer with more air. But personally, I would save up for the Symphonia Meteor or the Pilgrim Noir, as you'll see a bigger upgrade when it comes to those two. The Meteor is for mid volume. It's fast, it's tactile, it's attack and decay, it's bassy while still being very airy in the treble, whereas the Noir, even though it is a bit overpriced, it does scale incredibly well with very good mid bass texture and the technicalities to back it up. Then after them, if you want the most OCD and holographic presentation, you have the Mess Mark II with its tactile, textured, and highly resolving and addicting sound. You can get these for around $900 to $1,000 on sale. As for R&B, jazz, and lo-fi, we're looking for a warmer and thicker low end, but still well balanced in the upper mids and treble. Starting at $20, we have the QKZ HBBs, which is still a classic if you're looking for something warm, bassy, but without the vocals and treble being like buried. Then after that, I will skip everything else and just save up for the EW300 3.5 version with the pink nozzles, as you'll notice a bigger technical bump while still getting that warm and bassy sound. Then moving up from the EW300, you got its bigger brother, the EM6L, which is a more resolving and detailed version of the EW300, while still having the fullness and energy in the mid bass and the fun engaging factor. Then after EM6L, you got the Zenz T Pros, which improves upon the bass texture, the thickness, and then also the technical aspect as well as the slam and the overall impact in the low end. You can also go for the Hype 4 if you want a more balanced bassy set. It's less thick and it's smoother in the treble, but still bassy enough for the genre. Now all of these excel better at mid volume, so if you're looking for something that scales at higher volumes, then the HBB Arcadia is the most immersive and allows you to go ham on your ears while being very bassy and fun. And then at the top, we have the Audio Origin, which has one of the best bass texture under $1,000 with its bone conduction driver, while it being very well balanced in the vocals and treble and the resolution and technical performance. Now the Origin is more on the thicker and heavier side when it comes to the bass. So if you're looking for something quicker and more sharper and energetic in the transients, but still hitting very deep and very bassy, then the Symphonian Titan also has one of the best bass textures under $1,000, but it's just more exciting with its sharper presentation. Moving on for electronic, dance, and trance, here we're looking for something that has a good sub-bass focused sound with a slight sparkle in the treble. At under $20, even though it hurts me to say this, the KZ EDC Pro is actually a very good V-shape option, especially since you can get it for $1 on sale. But if you hate KZ, which is understandable, you can also go for the Tangzu Chang'e for a little bit more. Moving up from those, we have the EPZ Q5 Pro, which has a better driver and slightly cleaner with a small bump in the resolution. But if you could, I would personally skip the Q5 Pro and just save up directly for the SIMGA EM6L, which is not only smoother, way more technical, but still warm, bright, and fun. Then at around $300, you already know what I'm gonna say. It's literally what the IEM was made for. Now, if you don't like the person who made it, all good. If you want something else, the second best option would be the EPZ 530. It's also a slight V-shape. It's fun, it's energetic, but it is more expensive and not as good in the sub bass because, you know, it's an all-BA set. Then skipping everything else, at the top we have the Symphonium Crimson, which has top of the line technical performance, quick in its low end, sharp, surgical, but doesn't forgo the slam and dynamics, and would be the quote-unquote endgame when it comes to this genre. As for indie and alternative, as well as singer-songwriter, ballads, and acoustics, these genres have the same upgrade path up until around $600. Here we're looking for something clean, balanced, and not too bassy, with more emphasis in the upper mids, the vocals, and the treble. Starting off at $20, we have the SIMGA EW100P, which fits the mode perfectly, slight sub-bass boost, very balanced. Then at around $65, we have the Tangzu Xuanyu and the EW 3.5 with the red nozzles if you want something bassier. However, if you're looking for something more vocal focused, I would skip those two and save up for the original C Audio Yume, as it is the most mid-centric set and still my benchmark when it comes to a balanced vocal set under $300. But moving up from the Yume, you got 4 options under $500. If you want an all-rounder sound that's well balanced, natural vocals, go for the Software Studio 4s. And if you want something warmer but still neutral, better for male vocals, go for the Tantrum Origin. If you want something with more air, triple energy, sweeter, better for female vocals, go for the Lecture Condenser 4. And then lastly, if you want the best scaling and the most immersive experience, go for the ZGAT Odyssey. But after that, this is where the path starts to diverge. For example, for indie and alternative, the next upgrade would be the Tangzu Xuanwu Gate, and then followed up by the Prestige LTD. Both have a clean and balanced sound, with the main difference being that the LTD is going to be a slight step up when it comes to the air, the staging, and the micro details, whereas the Gate is more dynamic and is the much better value when it comes to price to performance. Now, as for ballads, acoustic, singer-songwriter, the genre is very vocal-centric, so you have 3 options here. Number 1, the Software's RS5 is still one of the best vocal IEMs after all these years, and if you want a powerful and extended vocal presentation, these are very good for both male and female vocals. Now, number 2, you have the original The Audio Oracles if you want something light, something sweet, something clean that favors female vocals more. And then at number 3, you got the Yang and Carmen at high volume for the maximum scaling, immersion, and intimacy when it comes to vocals. Now, the Elysian Diva is also a great set. It's the most technical out of the bunch, very airy, and even better female vocals than the original Oracles. However, the QC is really bad, which is why I don't feel comfortable recommending it, but it does sound great, so if you want to coin flip it, the option is there. Now, moving on for classical, orchestra, and OSTs, or anything that is instrumental heavy, you know, here we're looking for sets that have very good layering and separation, following a clean and open sound, something neutral or something that graphs like a straight line. For starter sets, we have the new Tangzu Wanar Studio Edition and the 7Hz Sonus. If you have $35, I would just go straight up to the Sonus and skip the Wanar SC, but if you're on a budget, the Wanar Studio works as well. And then I would skip pretty much everything and just jump directly to the ZGAT Chinos, which is literally a straight line. It's balanced, it's pretty open in this presentation, and it has very good layering and separation for the price. Then after the Chinos, you have 2 options. You can either grab the Lecture Condenser 4 if you want more energy and air in the treble, or if you listen at higher volumes, the ZGAT Odyssey will indeed take you on a musical odyssey. After that, skip everything else and save up for the Tangzu Xuanwu Gate, which in my opinion is the best neutral balance set I've heard at this price. It's not only very technical and detail. It's also like great value wise, but it's also not completely boring like the Mega 5 EST because it does have some dynamics on top of the straight graph. You can also go for the original Symphonium Helios or the SE edition if you want more air and treble detail. Tech wise, they're not too much of a difference, but if you want something that's smoother, something that's airier, then the Helios would be the better option over the Xuanwu Gate. As for the endgame, we have the Lecture Condensa 12 being one of the most technical IEMs out there, phenomenal when it comes to layering, separation, and just detail. Has slight energy in the treble, which allows it to be musical and lively on top of its performance boost, and again, not completely just neutral and boring. Then finally, for the hip hop and bass heads out there, here we are looking for something that just has a lot of good textured bass and ideally not muddy and still somewhat balanced elsewhere. Starting off for starter sets, we have the classic, the QKZ HBB. It's great if you want something warm and bassy, but you're still able to hear the vocals and treble. You also have the CCA Trio as well if you're looking for more sub-bass focus, and I would actually just skip everything else and just save up for the CCA Hydro or the 7Hz Legato, because you're not going to notice a big difference with other warm sets at around $50 to $80 like the Delcy, Don M's and stuff like that. Yeah, there are slightly better, but the bigger difference would be to go to the Hydros and the Legato. Then after those, you have three options. If you want a more balanced bassy sound that's still thick, heavy, and textured in the low end, then you have the Zenz T Pro, which is very good for mid volume. But if you want something even bassier and bass at level, then that's where the HBB Deuce comes in. Just don't buy it from Fat Freak because I still haven't received mine that I ordered like 5 months ago, so yeah. Yikes. And then for the last option, we have the HBB Arcadia, which is a high volume set that is very full, textured in the low end while being very relaxing in the upper mids and treble that scales very well for hip hop and rap. Then moving on from those, we have the Kiwi Ears HBB Punch, which is a very bassy set but also nicely balanced in the air and the vocals. It's not a neutral set obviously, but it is still relatively balanced for what it's trying to do. Although I would argue that the T Pros would be the better pick if you want something bassy but more balanced. So if you like less bass but you still want some bass, like still good amount, then I would actually just stick with the T Pros and just save up for the Audio Origin, which is more similar when it comes to the balance and the overall sound signature. Like yeah, you can spend 3K on the Empire Ears Raven or like the Fat Freak Grand Maestro, but like why? The Origin is already so good bass wise that you're really paying just to get some scraps at that point. And for my gamers out there, don't worry, I didn't forget you guys. Start off with the EPZ G10 or the SimGot EW100P or any balanced all-rounder set really, and then from there you can upgrade to the EW300 3.5 red nozzles, and then depending on if you like a warmer, brighter, more colored sound, you can go for the SimGot EM6L, or if you want something clean and balanced, go for the Giz Audio Chopin. Both are great options, as well as the Nova Supermix 4. They all work. Basically, you should not be spending more than $200 because you don't really need the Hype 4s, the T Pros, the Monarchs. They don't make you a better gamer as long as you have a headset or IEM that isn't like horribly tuned like a roller coaster. You're gonna be fine because your gear really doesn't help that much if you don't have a horribly tuned earphone, like maybe 5% at best if you're going from a well-tuned gear to another well-tuned gear. When I was 13, I was playing in tournaments using the old flathead Apple earbuds as well as in like office mice and keyboard. I was still one tapping and quick scoping people with that gear at 13. So what I'm trying to say is you should spend that money and time on the actual game, get better at the game, get more experience, and upgrade your skill set over spending $500, $1,000 on IEM that probably won't really help you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My voice is gone. I hope this guide was helpful. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Shout out to Rorix Cat, Dom Q, Star Buccaneers, Discall Scaldus, B Urac, Mystic Spoon Attack, Oh Really, Walker Standard, User, Ernest, Patrick, Polly J, Mr. Gorillas, Anton Risto, Gis Seng Young, Ed Dunlap, Christopher Jackson, Name, Henry Claudia, Son of a Horse, 777ZK, Ben Thompson, OB, Contain Guava Juice Gains, Treble Well Extended, Wizard, Frickalicious, Andric, Ricardo, Tapas, and Checo Norris. Thank you guys so much.